Hello, my dear students. Myself, Devi Prasad Sir, welcomes to you all to this chemistry class. Today, I'll be explaining you all the remaining part of this chemical bonding chapter. Now, covalent bond. The chemical bond formed due to mutual sharing of electrons between the given pairs of atoms of non-metallic elements. Bond formed by a shared pair of electrons, each bonding atom contributing one electron to the pair. Right? Now, depending on number of electron pairs shared, bond is single or double or triple covalent. Covalent compound. The chemical compound formed due to mutual sharing of electrons between the given pairs of atoms, thereby forming a covalent bond between them. Certain examples of covalent compounds are hydrogen, chlorine, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon tetrachloride, methane, etc. Now, covalency, the number of electron pairs which an atom shares with one or more atoms of the same or different kind to achieve stable electronic configuration is called covalency. Now, nonpolar covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are said to be nonpolar when the shared pair of electrons are equally distributed between the two atoms. No charge separation takes place. The covalent molecule is symmetrical and electrically neutral. The example of such type of compounds are hydrogen, chlorine, oxygen, nitrogen, methane, carbon tetrachloride, etc. Now, polar covalent compounds. Covalent compounds are said to be polar when the shared pair of electrons are unequally distributed between the two atoms. Charge separation takes place. The atom which attracts electrons more strongly develops a slight negative charge. Examples of such type of compounds are water, ammonia, hydrogen chloride, etc. Coordinate bond, type of covalency which involves one of the combining atoms contributing both of the shared electrons, that is, a bond formed by a shared pair of electrons with both electrons coming from the same atom. It has properties of both ionic and covalent bonds and is also called as dative or co-ionic bond. The examples of the compounds containing electrovalent and covalent bond is sodium hydroxide, and the compound which contains both the covalent and coordinate bond is nitric acid, and similarly the compound which contains ionic, covalent and coordinate bond, the example is potassium ferrocyanide and ammonium chloride. Now, the properties of electrovalent or the ionic compounds, generally when we come to their state, they are crystalline hard solids and they constitute units. Ions like metallic and non-metallic, they form strong force of attraction between their atoms. The electrostatic forces exist between ions. Volatility, they are generally non-volatile. Now comes melting and boiling point. They have got very high melting point and high boiling point. Reason, strong electrostatic force of attraction between the ions, large amount of energy required to break the force of attraction. Then comes conduction of heat. Generally, the electrovalent compounds are good conductors of heat. Next comes conduction of electricity. In the solid state, they are non-conductors, but in their molten or aqueous solution state, they behave as good conductors of electricity. The reason behind it is that strong electrostatic force keeps the ions in fixed position in the solid state. The force is weakened in the molten state and disappears in solution state. Hence, free ions are formed, which migrate to oppositely charged electrodes. Then comes the solubility. Generally, the electrovalent compounds are soluble in water, insoluble in inorganic solvents. The reason behind it is that water is a polar solvent and has a high dielectric constant, that is, capacity to weaken the force of attraction, therefore resulting in the free ions. Organic solvents, which are generally nonpolar, have low dielectric constant and do not cause dissolution. Next comes dissociation. The electrovalent compounds undergoes dissociation on passage of electric current. It is a process which involves the separation of ions already present in the ionic compound. Now, the properties of the covalent compounds. Generally, the covalent compounds are gaseous, liquids or soft solids. They constitute molecules and they have got very weak force of attraction. Now, coming to the volatility, they are generally volatile in nature. Then, the melting and boiling points. The covalent compounds have got very low melting point and low boiling point. The reason behind it is that due to the presence of the weak van der Waals force of attraction between the molecules, less amount of energy required to break the force of attraction. Now coming to the conduction of heat, the covalent compounds are generally bad or non-conductors of heat. When the property of conduction of electricity is taken into consideration, generally the covalent compounds are non-conductors of electricity. Then comes the solubility. Generally, the covalent compounds are soluble in organic solvents because they are nonpolar, and they are insoluble in water, which is a polar compound. The reason behind it is that organic solvents, nonpolar, that is benzene, alcohol, dissolve. Non-polar covalent compounds like dissolves water polar solvent cannot dissolve non-polar covalent compounds but dissolves the polar ones. Now coming to the ionization, the covalent compounds generally undergo ionization in solution state on passage of electric current. The process involves the formation of ions from molecules which are not in the ionic state. For example, hydrogen chloride. It provides the hydrogen ion and the chloride ion in solution state. Dear students, I hope that you all understood the contents of this video. Please go through the lesson from your textbook. Thank you for watching and learning from this video.